and I have here one of my most favorite human beings in Nigeria who dares to speak truth to power at any given time. Please welcome with me Professor Tomori Obiwadi, Nigerian Professor of Virology, Educational Administrator, and former Vice Chancellor of Redeemers University. I can see that we are not in the mood to applaud anyone. But I think we can cheer ourselves up even from here. Thank God the microphone has enveloped my face. So we also have here Dr. Uche Roland Ujima, Chairman, Nigerian Medical Association. Thank you, Prof, Doctor, for being here in good time. I know that we also have with us Dr. Sanusi from Ibadan, who is the Registrar Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria. We have Mrs. Bashir Ahmed, who is also Registrar Pharmacy Council of Nigeria. We have the President Association of Public Health Physicians of Nigeria. We Professor Alphonse Isara, Dr. Ibrahim Mustafa, Permanent Secretary of the State Primary Healthcare Board. You're welcome. I'd also like to quickly welcome Comrade Michael Nachi, President, National Association of Nigeria, Kabir Yahya Ahmed, President, National Association of Community Health Practitioners, and Dr. Theophos Akka, Director of the Daily Trust Fund, who is ably represented here by our point. I think I will ask members of the media for you to share the experience with us. But I had to go to Kwara for. I counted more than 500 people, and 3/4 of them said they had come at 3 a.m. from 3 a.m. to find a place so that they can renew their passport. And I did a quick analysis with some of them. Why are you here? Because they were young. And they said, auntie, you are not aware of their background. Okay, so that's the discuss today. So on behalf of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, in collaboration with the Development Research and Project Center, NIPSS-dRPC, great Nigerians here present, our greatest security challenge is health insecurity. With our daunting population of 206 million as of 2020 and still counting, our doctor to patients ratio stands at a whopping 1 to 5,000 patients. As against, we have the acute shortage of health workers. No surprise there, since majority of our states, and including the federal government budget, on an average of just 6% for health. The human resource to drive human is continually plagued by lack of good wages, lack of equipment, majorly because of our very low level of investment in health. So they emigrate to sell their very good loan, and the list is endless. So how can we begin to appropriate security to ourselves, of people that can thrive and believe not be left behind in the SDGs? We need self-made miracle by turning to financing bold, agile, innovative, traditional, and not easily take us all down at the risk of sounding green and dead projection. Many health challenges abound, and we have been producing manpower for other clients. Let us grab the bull, I dare say, by the horn today. Let this not be another form of talk, but walk the talk. Let us secure our health before it becomes extremely insecure and insecures us all. Allow me, therefore, to solemnly welcome you all, distinguished Nigerians, to this very, very important one-day symposium on Nigeria's recent health sector brain drain and its implications for sustainable child and family health services, delivery, and financing in the context of the new national health priorities. I welcome all of us. For me, this is mind-boggling. The fact that I keep introducing The fact that we can gather here today goes to show that we have a consensus of opinion that we need to change the narrative. We need to change what is happening, and the time to do it started yesterday, but we're here today, so thank God. I welcome all of us. Looking at this, I would say that for us, this is an important one-day meeting, and I would dare to say at the very beginning that talking to ourselves here won't do it. So DRPC makes, thank you for bringing this together, but please, we need to take it away from this room, from this comfort zone, and take it where we can have Nigerians speak to you, as especially using the times that we have, the political campaign, and begin to ask questions or begin to educate our politicians that we need to stem the tide of what we are witnessing today. My prayers is that we will leave here with actionable points that will move this forward. It is on this premise that I'd like to invite the Director General, National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, NIPSS, Professor Ayo Omotayo, to welcome us all together.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not surprised that you all sound down, and the lady that first spoke and said the fact that nobody is trying anybody. And of course, I'm not surprised that you're not trying anything, because there's actually nothing to share about the state of our healthcare in Nigeria. But as sober as we be, and as skeptical as our EU concerning healthcare be, I want to use this opportunity to thank everybody that has found time to come to this place today. I know you will have other things to do with your time, just for level to take place. I cannot, and because for all of the big roles from all sectors of the Nigerian health life, you will have to but finding the time to come to discuss this with you gives me a whole lot of joy. Now, at this time as an institute, it's a very, very busy time because the MNIs, I know I'm breaking protocol and understanding the important thing is we should move to an era of disruptive leadership. People don't like speeches. You can tell you the truth. People don't like speeches. They want you to see action. And I let that place the bridge. I know I'm going to disrupt the way the president has said it up. But we did not come here to talk about the optics. The time for the optics will come, and I apologize to the president. We will do optics. But let me say this to us here. It will not disrupt the way things are. Things will disrupt the way we are. Personally, I'm proud of Nigerians listening to speeches, doing all the niceties, and then what not to be done and nothing happens. So I always said, from the last time I gave a speech in Lagos, I said, anywhere I went, I'm not going to do what you expect. That's why I deliberately left that place. So I know the president will be upset, but somehow they should find a way to do their job in a different way. This is a critical time in the history of Nigeria. The gentle lady that spoke earlier, the lady, she said she was at the immigration office. She saw too many people wanting to do what they said, Japan or trying to Japan. Here, everybody is trying to Japan for no reason or the other. For reasons that are not really revealed, because I just came from visiting about 6 different countries all over the world, and I know that there are problems everywhere. I have people that have sent my friends and told them there is no need to go for your communities in Nigeria to give them money. Some who are realistic and tell you that it's not as easy as they thought. But that is not why we are here today. We are here today to discuss a critical matter that is called brain drain, and the speech we are medical like the migration of medical workers. But the term that immediately comes to us is brain drain. Now today, let's then look inward and say, oh, wait, I live here today. I must have a takeaway. Just don't look at 2, 3, 4, 5. Just take one thing that is within your body, within your power, and you say, I am going to ensure that this happens so that our country can change for the better. But those of us who have been in Nigeria for long and who still care, we don't know what news stands for. I chose to come and lead our country because I thought this is a serious matter. NIPSS is supposed to be solving problems. Because we are going to solve problems, we will see opportunities to do so. We must embrace these opportunities with both hands. So that is why I'm very thankful that DRPC brought this up. And of course, it falls in line with what we have been doing for the past 4 years, looking for solutions for the problems of Nigeria. And this is a challenge. We should not sit in Kuru and solve the problem from there. We are going to come out strongly and we are going to show the people of Nigeria that all the reflections we need, all the researches we need to do, all the like within Nigeria to take a place. Now, 2 years ago, we don't think of assistant study most of our Nigerian sector. And of course, we have discussed our findings as one of the programs that DRPC led. And of course, when we are at this time rounding of another study on strengthening local governance in Nigeria. And when we look at local governance, we look at everything: educational sector, security sector, industry sector, and of course the health sector. And of course, from all of these places, we begin to see that where exactly does Nigeria not have a problem? When I was in local government in in Borno State, the hospital did not have any doctor there. And of course, I asked, okay, well, and how do you get the doctor? The doctor may almost a week. Now, that doctor comes and too many patients waiting for the doctor. In fact, I'm sure the young man is always scared to go because it's going to be like an overhaul. I'm not going to bother ourselves with statistics. We know that too many Nigerians, trained Nigerians in the medical field are out of the country. They are out because they believe that there are better things they can do with their brains. They believe the country is not ready for them. And Nigeria continues to train all of the people in the healthcare sector. Look at what the statistics say, even from records that are not ours, that over 7,000 Nigerian nurses have joined the UK health services in the past 1 year. Then you need to wonder, do we still have nurses left in Nigeria? We will not have an accurate figure for those doctors that have left. And do not forget, when we talk of medical people living, it is an ecosystem of the medical system. You have doctors sitting at the head of it, people who don't even look at the fact that pharmacists are also living. The medical lab scientists are also living, physiotherapists are living, a whole lot of everybody in that sector is living. And of course, the health sector is not based on what doctors only do. They are sitting at the head of it, but it does not mean that they can function if others are not going to work. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am telling us that this is the time to act. We do not want to leave this case without having actionable points. Let us metric what is actually going on. We have some data, exactly what this data tell us. For every doctor that leaves, they say, oh, 5,000 people are left without a doctor care. Now, when 10 leaves, how many actually left without care? What can we do? Are we going to just keep looking at the situation and say, oh, well, they can leave? Of course, there are also Nigerians like everybody that leave, but when doctors leave, we have an organizational problem. It means when you get sick, you don't know who's going to take care of you. I know that down the line, technology will be able to take care of a few of these things. I will tell those care to listen that there will be a time when we will put pharmacopy in the waves, and we send healing, and you can write it down. There will be a time when we will put pharmacopy, for those who know what I'm talking about, I don't want to explain it, but that ingredient that you put in the cornstarch, because there's pharmacopy, it will mean against your body. The cornstarch is more binds the pharmacopy together, so you can take your chalk and take it. Those who have common system will know the proportion of chalk to pharmacopy. But I'm telling you that there will be a time when we will put pharmacopy in the airwaves and we can send healing to you through your phone. The time will come. Because 20 years ago, when we were researching on how to teach from our homes, everybody felt, oh, how are you going to ever be able to teach from home? But we need, because apart from the fact that I'm a chief geographer, I'm just an avid computer programmer, I know how things will go. We will put pharmacopy in the airway and you get your healing. But before the time comes, are you going to sleep and let all of our doctors go? And don't forget, if you are going to put pharmacopy in the airways and send healing to you, there will still be a doctor to tell you what pharmacopy to put. So doctors are going to be forever very important. And of course, nurses are generally always going to be important because you need somebody to touch and suit your body. So what are the things we want to look at today? Let us metric exactly what will happen if a particular number of doctors put it against the number of the population. And disaggregate the population to soon the number of healthcare. We have the demographic, which is different. They will 0 to 5 will be all in different kinds of care. Now, for any doctor that believes what to affect and how does that translate to economic survival in terms of having a very workforce, people who are willing and able to work. Because the first is what starts with health. If you are not healthy, you cannot work. If you cannot work, there is no national productivity. There is no GDP that will be generated. In fact, if you are sick, you cannot go to school. We've had this discussion several times. It's not important. Health or education. Most people be healthy before they go to school, or they will be educated before they get healthy. Because we know that the teacher still has to teach somebody how to become a doctor, so education is not important. But for that teacher to be able to do the job, it has to be healthy. So please let us achieve this. What we want at NIPSS, we would have loved to have all of you at NIPSS and use our immersion system where we will make you sit, talk and talk until you fight to settle at yourself and I will and give solutions according to what we call the NIPSS timeline. Unfortunately, we do not have money to take everybody to grow at this time because already we are prepared. So today we will look at these things critically, make us against the demographic so that we know which sector, what means the demographic that is most impacted. Don't forget to put assignment before a large demographic bulge of our youth. Now, if you have so many youths, you expect them to be healthy. So if you are not, if they are healthy, you probably do not need the doctor that often. Maybe that is why we are able to get away with the fact that we do not have enough doctors. I don't know. I can only guess. Facts here. We know certainly that you will give us solutions to the answer. I remember very well that there is not important people here. We are all very important, so I don't certainly want to bring everybody and try to leave people on the side. Everyone that is gathering for the glass problem is very, very important. So ladies and gentlemen, we mention these things, we look at it, and we do. I'll give one or two suggestions. One is, young Nigerians will say Nigeria has done nothing for it. But I know for sure that it takes about, I think, something million to train a doctor every year. For every year they spend, because I think for 2 million. Now this young man will become a doctor, and parents in Nigeria have done nothing for him or her, and they decide to leave. Ask yourself, is that fair? I don't have a child that is a doctor, For those who have children that are doctors or nurses, we say, well, what is he trying to get to? Is it fair for somebody who has spent that much, who government has spent so much money on like that, sick, like that, nothing for him or her? I know very well that in America, it costs about $350,000 to become a medical doctor. And it's not on the fact that their healthcare system is they don't get it for free. Somebody has to pay the bill. Now, if you have put so much money on that, and I remember when I was in last week to set up a data center, we spent 1.6 billion, that was like 10 years ago. And Nigeria, so they only allow us to, upon all the money we spent, they only allow us to admit 15 students. Now, you are not going to put all the money on those who have to pay. So we are spending a lot of money dedicating these young ones. And then they are just living. And we just need to open our eyes and let them know what can we do. Now, again, the new structure of Nigeria, you say, oh, okay, let us pay them more. But then remember that we spend so much money on them. The guy that political science in Lagos University, for example, will spend about 666,000 naira 2021 together. Other African countries that didn't have them. Now, can't we do something about that? Can't we say,
this one is already online. Is online.
Compared to others who are staying behind. Even though at the back end they tell them they usually send money home. Because in their case, Nigeria school, anytime you talk about the person you are trying to do, is supposed to get behind and okay, we are making the money and we are sending it back to them. And sometimes you can also say, I don't want to use the word that this person is right now. Let me just leave that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank us sincerely for coming around. Members of the press, I apologize for giving the program. We can always get an opportunity to talk, but we want to discuss critically. Yes, if you are not happy and understand why you are not happy, but please let us solve the problem. This is not trying to solve the problem. I think that whatever we come up with, we do it at this time. We are going to ensure the uptake of these policies. NIPSS will sit next to government. I don't know if you persevere on the right people here. Okay, well, thank you, sir. Thank you for coming, sir. We will ensure that whatever we discuss today gets to the right source so that I will be active. Please do not take this as another sit out or a place where we are just trying to just say words and then nothing happens. Examine this issue critically, let us actually come up with what can enable us solve this problem. Let me stop at this point. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Well, the speech will be distributed, and I think there will be an interview session during the course of this event. Thank you very much. That was supposed to be a welcome note, but when you're driven by passion and the reality of what is happening, you can go on and on and on about it. Again, please can we appreciate this item. Thank you for also letting me know that we have with us here representative of the Presidential Health Reform Committee, Office of the Vice President, Dr. Nicholas D. Ferran. You're welcome. Thank you very much. I also like to, I think I made a slip, but let's put it right. Dr. Uche Roland Ujima, who is the President, Nigerian Medical Association. I'd like to invite him to the microphone. Yes, we need to do things differently, but please, I will plead on behalf of my colleagues that you please speak to the microphone, because so that we don't have too many people that we're running after for interviews after the event. So please welcome with me President, Nigerian Medical Association. By the way, sir, before you make the speech, just to steal a little time from you, as a research center, the DRPC has produced the most comprehensive data on brain drain in Nigeria. This copy is in your bags. You'll need it, particularly for members of the media. They will need this. It will be very useful for you. Please go through it. Now, can we please listen to our president, NMA?
Thank you very much. I want to say that I've been warned to stick to my speech. And so let me say that all protocols are duly observed so that we don't waste time. We'll get to the matter at hand. Let me see how I can do this in 20 minutes. You never know. Miracles happen. So my DG, representative of my minister, who is here present, and other people, my name is Dr. Uche Ojima. I want to tell you that the term brain drain was coined actually by the British Royal Society. It's not an African affair. So maybe before it got to us, it was hitting them. So you are not alone. We are having our time. It will pass like every other thing. It described the outflow of scientists and technicians to the United States and Canada from Britain in the 50s and early 60s. By the 1970s, brain drain came to be associated with the flow of skilled individuals from the developing world to Western Europe and North America. Since this period, the phenomenon has been a contentious issue in the North-South debate. Brain drain is also known as human capital flight. Simply connotes large-scale immigration of individuals with technical skills or knowledge. This is simply what it means. So in summary, when you lose an eye, it is not brain drain. It is when you use your technical strength and in large numbers that you talk about brain drain. So it's not when one person goes, it becomes brain drain. Or when a few political talks decide to leave Nigeria to another place, it might actually be a welcome thing in the next election. Thank you. So there are so many other descriptions here which you can get to later. But the most important thing for you to know is that this process deprives the homeland of the immigrants' ability to directly contribute to its economic or healthcare development. Let's go to the current affairs. Premium Times of February 4th, 2019, in a publication titled "It's Official, Nigeria Greatly Lacks Doctors to Address Citizens' Health Needs," gave some unsavory indices as it pertains to availability of medical doctors in Nigeria. Nigeria, Africa's largest country, is in dire need of doctors to meet the health needs of its citizens. Official statistics show that we have only one medical doctor is available to cater for every 4,845 Nigerians, as against the stated data of 1 to 600. The official data sourced by Premium Times have shown. It also published the following data they obtained from medical and dental councils at then, based on the Freedom of Information requests. It gave a breakdown of registrations with NBCN. They said I registered 86,722 medical doctors from 1963 to 2019. This has been updated recently to 91,079 as at the end of 2021, giving a total of 4,000 and also a total of 4,357 dentists were registered from 1963 to 2019. I have no recent updates. So from 1963 to today, to 2019, we produced 4,357 dentists. and we have produced till 2019 91,079 doctors. This number includes doctors that have emigrated, those no longer interested in practicing medicine, like those that have become governors and ministers. They no longer need us in any way, so they move politically. It also includes the dead and those that have become incapacitated. That number you saw. So everything we have ever produced from 1963 till today is 91,000 doctors. Now, Nigerian dead population, according to the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, was estimated at 193.4 million in 2016. I'm sure you know that by now it's over 200. Nobody argues that. Now, by relative comparison to United States, the 2018 physician census in USA revealed that there are 985,026 actively licensed doctors. This means that in that particular year, the number of doctors in US that reviewed their license to practice, not those that are in politics and those that have died, is 985,026 compared to 91,000 relatively. And check the population variation. You will know the problem exists. Now, a previous survey that reflects a net increase of 60% of 134,941 physicians from the first physicians census in 2010 to the one they did in 2018. They have acquired and also produced 134,941 physicians. I'm sure you know that many came from Nigeria. You don't need anybody to say that. So the number they got in 8 years is more than what we have produced from 1963 to 2021. So you can see our problem. The real shocker comes when you know that what was reflected by USA record were only actively practicing physicians, not just those registered to practice. So let me leave it to your imagination to think of the number of physicians actively practicing in Nigeria. I don't want to discourage you, but the data is around 24,000 that is actively practicing in Nigeria today. Now, a recent article from Punch online newspaper of 9th October 2022, titled 200 Nigerian doctors moved to UK in 1 month, reveals the fact that checks on the website of GMC, which is General Medical Council, which is the body that licenses and maintains the official register of medical practitioners in UK, show that the GMC licensed at least 200 Nigerian trained doctors between August 31st, 2022 and September 30, 2022. That's what we lost in just 1 month that have passed. The statistics also show that between January 1, 2022 and September 30, 2022, about 1,307 doctors trained in Nigeria were licensed in the UK as Nigeria continues to battle one of the worst situations of brain drain in its history. Overall, 10,296 doctors who obtained their degrees in Nigeria currently practice in the UK. Dispersion of immigration data for Nigeria trained doctors to UK is as follows. We have 233 in 2015 practicing there, 279 in 2016, 475 in 2017, 852 in 2018, 1,347 in 2019, 833 in 2020 moved. Despite the COVID, 833 left, and 932 left in 2021 as we are recovering from COVID. Currently, Nigeria has the third highest number of foreign doctors in the UK. It is now a veritable ground for attracting doctors. We are no longer relegated in the pecking order as it used to be when they were in part of the EU. So it's let us go. As of today, Nigerian trained doctors are living in Europe for Saudi Arabia, Oman, Kuwait, Qatar, and United Arab Emirates as of today. It is sad to note that developing countries are confronted with the loss of their most valuable intellectuals and the investment in their education to the benefit of developed nations. An ethical debate arises as the disparities between countries increases. Industrialized nations filling in the gaps in their health system with professionals from countries already facing shortages. This is a moral burden. We can all agree that brain drain is real, but it is worse as it pertains to medical residency program, because as it stands today, medical residency may crumble because we are not just losing the consultants, we are losing the fresh graduates. So it's like you're losing raw material and you're losing equipment. So your company is bound to crash. By the time you finish recruiting residents, recently I found out that they actually come into residency now just to raise some money to get a visa, and they have japa. So you go to bed on a Friday, having directed your resident to do something in the weekend, and by Monday you are not done, and your resident has gone. And you can't go to America or go to Canada, which is recent opium, to bring them back. So we lose. And by the time you go back to the Ministry of Health to say we need to recruit another set of residents, they go to the Office of Head of Service and they say, but you just recruited last month. So how do you tell them that they have all gone? And so the system is left vacant. So they say we gave you last month, but this month you have nobody, and nobody is interested to give you again, and the patients suffer. Now, what are the risk factors I think are responsible for all these things going on? Poor funding of the health sector is the most important factor. You cannot give somebody nothing and expect him to perform magic. Recently, if you look at the data I have here, we all brought African heads of nations to Abuja in 2021 to deliberate on the amount of money needed to resuscitate the health sector in Africa. And they all agreed that it's 50% of the annual budget. And from that day to today, Nigeria has not passed 6%. So how do you give the example in such a situation? Let me give you a little bit of teaser. 2021, Nigerian budget was a national budget of 13.8 trillion. That got a paltry 4.07%. And security and defense got 8.3%. You move to 2022, health got 4.3%. And then you check security and defense 50%. 2023 proposed budget, health will get 5.75% and defense 12.5%. So it's a matter of priority. The nation prioritizes security over health and every other thing. So maybe it's a realistic issue of our existential reality pushing us in a direction. But I think we need to balance it before we are finally secure and we are all dead from other things. So one way or the other, we need to do something. Now, my little research showed me that your so-called differential cutoff mark is an offense on academic young people who want to get into university. And some of them don't forget. And some time ago, I scored higher than my friend. And I couldn't get admission into the university. And he got admitted into university. And by the time I was struggling to write another job, he came back as an undergraduate. He leaves a very sour note in the mouth. And so let me tell you that whatever you do that you don't reassess is no longer statistically tenable. I believe that affirmative action, such as giving the educationally backward a nudge, must be time-bound with periodic reviews of the primary and secondary outcome measures, with the aim of discarding it if it is not working in Nigeria or abolishing it once it achieves its aim. Note that in reality, from my research, what we have in Nigeria is not classically affirmative action, but discriminatory action. Because nobody places impediments from education on any state or region as the issue. The policy, just like federal character, has long overstayed its welcome, and it should be quickly discarded in favor of merit and level playing field, so that when they graduate, they feel they got what they deserved. Stressful medical education is another problem. I was a medical student, sir. Nigeria is training me. It's a story. It's like you have me on your back and my feet is all over the ground. You're not carrying me, actually. If you want to carry me properly. Let me know you carry me. Is it the 010, 100, or 011? Where a medical student is suffering, you cannot even get the carbohydrates that he needs drainage, or the gamma aminobutyric acid that is a very important component of brain function that you get from nutrition. And so somebody passes through medical school paying 80% and government pays 20%. And let me tell you, it is worse now. Go to those schools, you cannot live in their hostel. You cannot use their classrooms. It's not worthy. See, when my uncle was in medical school in 1953, they had wardens, they had cleaners. Their business was to go to school. They were really taught how to not attack, how to be gentlemen, and how to come out unexpected. It cannot work. So we must what it used to be. Train them to be gentlemen and ladies, and they will come out exactly what you want. But when you allow me, you see young ladies living outside the hostels, young men living outside the hostels, paying 2 million naira for a hostel that their parents cannot afford. So our young medical students are young doctors actually go for 1 night. They love them to watch copy things. And the young ladies have their relations compromised because someone else pays those places they stay. So what are you training in essence? If you want to do it well. For me, how you saw this call become an impediment to even the who leaves a better paying house job to a nothing paying youth. So you see, there's a saying in Igbo language. One really
Is he a panel?
so the young also
So what about this panel?
so to a lot of to me, we should make youth service voluntary. It does not have a process of plugging in. You finish NYSC, you come home in the morning. Those that have finished 2 or 3 years ago are going to work. One day I was wondering, this what is going on here? And I quickly started walking into moving to Ireland. I already had a Irish Medical Council number before I got residency training slot in UNT. I had passed my primaries, and nobody wants to take me. And I'm left floating. I needed to move, and I followed the plan. So when I had gotten my number to move to Ireland, I was invited back, finished my residency, and I am here today. All evaluation is the worst. So let me inform you that since 2009, the average health worker in Nigeria has not had a salary review. What was inflation in 2009? Let me use the medical sector. As at the time we agreed on COMEX in 2009, the collective bargaining agreement, which you know is a level 2 that is legal, stated that it will be reviewed in 5 years. That's 2014. It has not been reviewed till now. And we've been right. If the minister were here, I would have gone more ballistic. Because I have written him. Let me tell you a story. I wrote him in June and said, remember that since 2014, we've been begging for the same discussion. Let's sit and talk. Tell me what you can afford. Let me tell you what I want. And we reach an agreement. And he referred it to level. And the level said, no, it's your business. Negotiate with your people. And they said, no, it's level. And I'm laughing because it is the business of Ministry of Health. It is when our discussion collapses that level comes in as an arbiter. So I don't want to say my minister doesn't know what to do. But that is where I am till today. So will you be surprised if I have a better offer than I go? Let me tell you sincerely, I'm here because of my family. I have 3 young boys that are teenagers. I don't want to leave them. I don't know what they will look like when I come back. Yeah, that's why I'm here. I have an offer of 6 million naira a month in Saudi Arabia. It's still standing. I was talking with a friend that immigrated, never knowing that the administrator of the hospital was with him. He said, what are you talking with? He said, dermatologist. I said, how long? He said, about 15 minutes. He said, give him 4 million. And I said, what do you mean? He said, I'll give you 4 million. Come, a month. And I was saying, no, I don't want you. He said, okay, take 5. I was saying, no. And I said, no, I'm not coming. I had to come back to my wife and say, should I go? He said, no. So that's why I'm here. So don't think it's because I'm extremely this is the truth. So let me show you something in tax law. While our salary is going down, our tax is very strong. Let me read the tax section 3 of the amended personal income tax defines income chargeable to include any salary, wage, fee, allowance, or other gain or profit from employment, including compensations, bonuses, premiums, benefits, or other purposes allowed, given, or granted by any person to any temporary or permanent employee. Other than that, so much of any sum or expenses incurred by him in the performance of his duties, and from which it is not intended that the employee should make any profit or gain. That means anything you do when you are under employment with government, you must be taxed. Those who were not taxing called duty in the beginning were not fools. They knew they were not paying enough. So they give you a little leverage to make something. But a group of people came who were earning 30 million a month, and they quickly amended the law to say, charge tax even their quantity, tax even the water they drink, and that is okay. So why are you crying? You asked us to go, we are going. It is the position of government that is forcing us to go. Now, the unhealthy rivalry in the health sector is also another thing that is chasing some doctors I know out. They don't want stress. So we call government, implement your laws, define what everybody should do in the health sector. The days of fluid and fluidity should be over. If I'm coming to work as a doctor, I should know what I'm coming to do. If you're coming as a pharmacist, you should know what you're coming to do. I don't want to be a pharmacist. Please let all the pharmacists be a doctor. That is the simple truth of the matter. So when you solve it, it will be okay. Insecurity, doctors and architects, anywhere they sit, catch them. I don't know why Nigerians have this strong notion that we have money. Maybe because we're not tired. When you see me now looking this way, you don't know I was ill all through last night. We don't have money. They kidnap us, they kidnap our relations. I'm sure you know that about 3 or 4 days ago. Where can I get the microphone? Thank you. I will try to finish. You also didn't start on time. I didn't start on time. So let us all schedule ourselves. It's because I'm not strong. When the director was talking, you couldn't move. Because I'm a weak doctor. Now you have told me I will leave you. So they have this wrong notion that we have money. Sometimes they can't touch us. They touch our borders. They touch our hearts. And they touch our relations. Let me tell you, I was on that train that was now 2 days, 48 hours before that thing happened. You know, I may not have been home till now because I don't have 100 million to give anybody. And nobody will be able to pay 100 million for me. So nobody will care about me. Two things that are very important. And the pull factors are the things that are bringing them out of here. They are as follows. I will summarize: Senate system and society with order. I was in Germany recently, and by 2 a.m., the taximan stopped at red light and didn't move until it turned green. I felt so good. If I try it in Enugu, how numbers will finish me? And if I try it by 9 p.m., those behind me will be wondering like, is this guy crazy? Continue, there's nobody in front of you. So we need to implement our own laws. Ambient work and living environments, well-ordered and timed residency training program, training institutions with cutting-edge technology and medical equipment, readily available employment with little or no need for any form of bribery, rapid and easy recruitment interviews without much stress from immigration services of destination nations, and of course, they modify their salaries to suit you. That 6 million, they told me you pay it without tax, and we'll give your wife visa to come. You can go on holiday twice a year. incentives. Why Nigeria is not doing it, I don't know. Now, there are strategies I want to present for reversing what we have all met. One, adequate funding of the health sector using African Union Abuja Declaration 2001, allocation of 15% of annual budget, eradication of differential cut-off marks, subsidizing of graduate medical education, erecting standard lecture halls and hostels, and instituting scholarships, organize and time recruitment of resident doctors devoid of underhand practices, return of mandatory 1-year overseas clinical attachments as part of residency training program. Let them go and learn and come back. It's better to come. If there is a way medical workers affect the election outcome, they will take help. So tell them we say that. Free children education, maximum of 4, and 1 paid family holiday trip. While all these are wonderful strategies, let me also say the drawback is that they are dependent on government having the political will and financial muscle to execute them. And in reality, our government lacks both. Addressing the issue of brain drain, in Aberdeen they said that beyond rhetoric, what are the actions and systems and strategies on ground to retain these workers and prevent them from traveling out of the country, especially now that COVID-19 induced restrictions are over? So I suggest that what shall we do with the existing federal tertiary health institutions? We already have many. It is time to think out of the box. Must we continue to fund all of them? Should we privatize a part of it so that we now have a core investor? And then we also sell part of the shares to the workers so that they can do what they are supposed to do well. We need to develop a health bank to fund the private sector. Your future in medicine depends on the private sector, not the public sector. As long as you continue wasting your time on the public sector, the longer it will take you. Go private. India has done it. And if you have Bank of Industries, Bank of Agriculture, is it not silly not to have a bank for health so that we take care of those who take care of those who take care of you? In conclusion, we can no longer afford to sit idly by while our brightest and best exit in groups, as this leaves our healthcare sector in tatters. We are not just losing our best materials for residency training, but to make matters worse, we're also losing their trainers. Today, we virtually train doctors for export. If it will help assuage our pain, let me inform you that it is not all losses, as recent literature emphasizes the possibility of a beneficial brain drain through better education incentives offered by, that it is not all losses, as recent literature emphasizes the possibility of a beneficial brain drain through better education incentives offered by the left in a better state. The private sector building health system will provide better structure than the regulated sector. If we can garner the political will to do, we can still rescue our health sector from grinding to a halt and shift the gear from grain to gain as we migrants, accompanied by cutting-edge technology and collaborative networks. The time to do the needful is now. Accompanied by cutting-edge technology and collaborative networks. The time to do the needful is now. Thank you very much. I apologize.
Thank you very much. That's coming from a man who is passionate. Thank you that you gave about saying no to Saudi Arabia. I hope that you can keep the pressure on, because not so many people can, especially when the way the dollar today. That please take notes, because I think it will be very interactive. Who's campaigning? This, we must seize this season. I say this because I chair a committee that is called Universal Health Coverage 2023, and that's where we are driving. We talk to ourselves. We cannot meet action. So I speak as an advocate, having the privilege to facilitate this, and use this forum also to introduce that we have with us Dr. Francis Ayuno, who is leading the West African Institute of Public Health. You're welcome, and this is our turf. I've also seen Dr. Gafar Alawaje here with us, who co-chairs with me UHC 2023, and also from the DGI. Dr. Alawaje, you are welcome. This is a serious issue that we all must speak seriously and passionately too. We also have here representing Nigerian doctors in the UK. I wonder how he was feeling when the president was speaking. Dr. Ejiro is online. I'd like to thank you for staying online. At some point in another 10 to 15 minutes, we'll be able to hear from you. But then again, I'd like to plead that we're speaking from passion. We need to stick to time. We need, please, time is important because that woman in labor will not wait for your 20 minutes or your 30 minutes. She wants to be delivered. That child wants to come in a healthy environment. So please, I beg you, let's please stick to time so that everybody can have a say and nobody is left behind. We're moving on quickly. Okay. I want to ask, thank God for technology, if our brother in the UK, yes, yes. Can you come online, please? Thank you. I think he's online. Can we bring him on?
Yeah, he's already on.
You're on, please.
No, he's there.
Is there?
When is it? Microphone.
No, we're just trying to. No, we're trying to set up the audio setup.
Okay, we're trying to set up his audio. We can see him.
Check.
Very good morning.
Check the panelists. Check the panelists.
Can we have the next person while we set him up? To...
You can see. Hello, sir. Can you say something?
Can you say something, please? Okay.
Yes. Can you hear louder?
Okay. Would like to boost your audio.
It's your-
Can we do that, please?
Yes.
Can we do that, please?
Yes.
Yes, doctor. Go ahead, please.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, you can.
All right. Good morning to everybody. The chairman of this event and all the distinguished participants. I'm very glad to be here. I've had to come up with 12-hour night shift to be here because the issues that we're discussing here today are very, very important. My name is Adrian. I am a general practitioner here in the United Kingdom. I've been here for about 10 years now. And currently, I'm one of the lead members of the group in the UK called Nigerian Doctors in the UK, which has about 9,400 doctors and counting. In considering these issues, I would like to say a few things to give this goodwill address to the participants. Now, one thing you must recognize is that across the world, every health system has peculiar challenges, and even the NHS that has been cited so many times in the United Kingdom, anyone who is conversant with the system knows that it's on its knees, essentially. Because if you're outside of the system, you do not recognize this. Nigerian health sector is not exempt from these challenges, and our own challenges are peculiar to us. Over the years, we have witnessed a very painful decline in the health sector in Nigeria, and I witnessed this myself while I was still in the country. And you find out that many of our health indices they have actually declined over time. Now, one trend in recent years is that there's been an explosion in the immigration of different health professionals, indeed from Nigeria to just across the world. Now, the reason why many people talk about the UK is because the UK itself is not self-sustained when it comes to healthcare professionals, so it's actually opened the door for many people to come in. Initially, we had a lot of doctors coming in, but in recent times, we had radiologists, nurses, you name it, they come because the system actually needs them. And obviously, this trend itself has a detrimental impact on our country. One thing we must understand is that I've spoken to hundreds of doctors over the last 1 year, and I've personally tracked
movement of doctors from Nigeria to the UK. As of 2 years ago, from my own statistics I have gathered, we had 40 doctors every week leaving Nigeria to come to the UK. New registered with the general medical council registered. Now, there are many departments that cannot post for that number, and it continues. There are more and more people coming into the UK. Now, I applaud the initiative of this conference. It is there are many issues that we need to talk about. I really appreciate the NIH member when he spoke because he highlighted a lot of issues which have led to our present condition, why our healthcare professionals are in such a large number. Now, addressing this, looking at issues, identifying them is one thing, but more importantly is to look at practical solutions. Because if there's no will, not just from the side of the healthcare professionals, even from the government, things will not change, things will not move. We may be in the United Kingdom, but there's no one in the United Kingdom that does not have family in Nigeria. And every time I'm thinking, let me contact this doctor, the doctor is thinking, so it's a bad situation, truly speaking, it's a bad situation. Many of my colleagues have expressed the fact that they desire to go back to Nigeria, to transfer their skills to Nigeria. But there's only a caveat when we have this conversation. And the caveat is that when things improve, and if things do not improve, I fear that we will not necessarily see a reversal of it. So that I please achieve the reversing this open tax called bravery. Thank you very much, and I welcome everybody to engage.
Thank you very much. I'd like to take away from you when things improve, while we look forward to accelerating improvement in the sector. You can also join us to make it improve. Thank you. Another round of applause for you. At this point, I'd like to invite Mr. Godwin Aina, Population Association of Nigerian Partners, as we take on goodwill messages. Let's welcome him.
Good morning, all. I'd like to stand on the existing protocol in deference to Bakanjola. I bring you greetings from Professor Ruda Mundi, who is the president of the Population Association of Nigeria. She is currently outside the country. She has not come back. She will be back in a week's time. The Population Association of Nigeria, PAN for short, is the umbrella body of a large spectrum of professionals and trainees in the field of economics, demography, geography, medicine, public health, sociology, and other studies, both within and outside Nigeria. The aim of PAN is to promote the advancement of demographic knowledge and confront population pressure in Nigeria's developmental processes through the promotion of scientific research on population issues. Summary, the objectives of the association includes: one, the general advancement of demographic knowledge, the encouragement of the study of population-related problems, the dissemination of findings on population and development of, findings on population development in the general public, and collaboration with government and related organizations, agencies for the propagation of population issues for national development. But the theme of the discourse today, I think in the past 1 hour that we have been here, I've received 3 lectures, first from Michael Jola, second from the NIPSS director, and then third from the NLA national president. So it's for us, it falls within the strategic interest of population of Nigeria, because bring across all sectors have a significant impact on population dynamics, either in terms of migration or in terms of changes in household structures and so on and so forth. And then bring the health sector also has implications for the health of the population and their development generally. So this for us is an issue that is of strategic interest for population association of Nigeria. So we're therefore very, very excited and to be part of this discourse, and we're happy to be part of the process to address the challenges of brain drain in Nigeria. Maybe just on a lighter note, the NIPSS president has said that one of the issues confronting brain drain was security. And so the federal government voted so much money for security. So there are a whole lot of contradictions within the system on how to address brain drain in Nigeria. That's just a lighter note. Thank you and good morning.
Thank you very much. I'd like to invite Dr. Mui Aino, Selina Health. I'd like to invite Dr. Mui Aino, Selina Health. Thank you. I was actually getting very uncomfortable that I haven't heard a woman's voice because it's all inclusive. So can we welcome her very, very, very warmly?
Thank you. I bring special greetings from Dr. Muyaino, who cannot be here today. He's on an assignment outside the country. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to stand on existing protocol. The theme on brain drain and its impact and implications on the health sector and the nation at large in such a timely conversation. Many of us doing work in the development space in Nigeria are already feeling the pinch very high, as quality people needed to recover from the post-COVID-19 challenges we are still facing are exiting the nation in large numbers. We deeply appreciate NIPSS and the DRPC teams for inviting Selina to this conversation. We look forward to continuing the conversations and contributing to practical solutions. Welcome again and thank you.
Thank you. You see, less than 3 minutes, all done. That's why you should take it seriously of having a female president. Okay, we are moving on now. I call him Fire. He speaks to the power, and he's a consummate Nigerian. And he did not jack up at those days, and he's still with us. Please welcome most warmly Nigerian Professor of Neurology, Education Administrator, and former Vice Chancellor of Regency University, Professor Tomori Yewa.
I'm still confused. I didn't know I was supposed to talk, but that's okay. It's always an opportunity to talk. I've listened to, sorry about protocol, I don't even know who is here, so forget protocol. Let's talk. I'm not going to move away from here and do like the director of news. Only directors can do that. People like us stay where we're put. So I've asked someone this morning. Some of them I don't agree with. Some I agree with. I think one of the things I disagree very much with was when we said brain drain is only limited to doctors. I think it is wrong. The error we made, and that's why we're here today. Brain drain started with ASU in 1973, 74. Today we're seeing the effect because we neglected it at that time. Nobody's brain is not important. Every brain that goes, whether it's intellectual or whatever, that goes out of this country, because the conditions in this country make it impossible for him to stay, is brain drain. In one given the man who walks across the Sahara Desert, because the situation in Nigeria makes it impossible for him to do, is brain drain. Unless we begin to appreciate that the process is important, we're going to get to where we are. What I regard is arrogance or ignorance, and that's what is killing us in this country. Everyone is important. Every brain is important, and we must make use of that one. If the condition in Nigeria makes me not to stay, something is wrong with that country.
Yesterday I was at a meeting, the ministerial thing where they are praising themselves of their achievement and all that. It started Tuesday and Monday. And we got all what they've done, what this government has done and all that. And I was supposed to be one of those speakers. But of course, when you are reading those things, I was told the president has spoken. He said he has done. So you cannot say he has not done. And I said, look, I'm in Nigeria. I don't live in Asu Rock. I live in the rock outside the village. And I know what that rock looks like. When Asu Rock and Asu Rock start fighting each other, then it is altar suffer. In those days, they say the grass suffers when people are fighting. What happens today? The grass becomes grasshopper and flies out of the country. That's what has happened to us. You better remember that. The grass that they're killing has become grasshopper and they're popped out of the country. So remember that. And I think we need to make that point to all of us here. Finally, when these people asked me to go and say, get the government, I said no. This party had a manifesto in 2015, and they promised us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. Of the 5 things, only one thing was achieved. We were able to reduce the HIV prevalence from 2.8 to 1.4. Every other thing was not achieved. The person told me that they've done in the Ibadan Express Road, and that is now open. The last time I went there, which was 4 days before time, I spent 4 hours on that road. These are the realities that we want. So let's not stop deceiving ourselves. There are also, when we start discussing today, please let us find out the solution for this problem. A brain drain started in 1973. Please remember that. Not with doctors, but with ordinary teachers like people like me and Hanya. I got bald hair, I got gray hair, because I stayed in this country for that much. I thought, it's not that I didn't have any offer. We all have offers to go everywhere, but we stayed because we are patriots in our country. I used to say, I owe this country more than I can ever pay, more than I can ever pay back. For many of us who are running away, this country, no matter what the country does for you, you owe this country. Many years ago, I went out of this country. There was somebody who was from, I don't know where he came from, Sudan. He's blacker than myself. And when he told me where you're from, he said, Finland. And I looked at him, you are the blackest fish I've seen in my life. He had no country to call his own. I still have a country to call mine. I still have a country to call mine. And that's why, whatever happens to this country, let us go on. It is our country. Whatever it is, first and foremost, we are in Nigeria. First and foremost, you have something to call your country. Many people don't have the place to call their country. For that alone, we will stand and do well for this country. And yes, so my good message is that let us do what we can do for this country. This government is messing up. The next government will also mess up. But we should not allow them to by talking. Many of us don't talk. Many of you will go into the government position and do exactly what those things are doing. Many people will do the things they should not do. Let us go out there and stand up for what is right. We are all here today. This meeting will go. How many of you will come? When you go out the next week and we see you at this presidential law, saying the same thing that the government is doing well. We are not doing well. Let us do what we need to do. Thank you.
Food for thought. A colleague, a friend, and a brother said to me at one of meetings such as this that we need to start changing what we're doing. If we're doing the same thing in 20 years and we haven't achieved results, about time we change gear. And I think that sums up what Professor Tomori has said. If we are not getting it right, we need to start getting it right. And getting it right is inclusive. We can't keep quiet. We must create demand. Nigerians must be able to ask, particularly the public sector, where are we? You have what you call midterm reviews. How seriously do we take it? Until, of course, we are all involved. And I believe that you don't have to be a politician to be involved. In your own little way, you can create demand which will make our politicians accountable in all that they do. We're moving on now, and next person, I wish that a lot of doctors here, with what is heard, I don't know how his heart is beating, but mine is beating well, I can say. From the Presidential Health Reform Committee, Office of the Vice President, welcome with me Dr. Nicholas I'll defer. Who is going to be the next person to speak to us? And I think that was should be on so that we can encourage you to speak to some of the issues that have been raised.
Good morning. My heart is beating well, don't worry. First and foremost, I'm a doctor, just like everybody else here. So it doesn't really matter where one is presently stationed. The truth is the truth. The fact is the fact. It's there. I was already scheduled to be here today to represent the health sector reform, the Presidential Health Sector Reform Committee, only for me to discover that I'm also representing the office of the Vice President where I am embedded. So it seems as if I'm wearing two caps today. DJs, thank you. It's a pleasure to have received this invitation. The relationship between NIPSS and the office of the Vice President is very interrelated and very integrated over the years. Both of the sides mutually supporting each other. Thank you so much for the invitation. Before I give a good message, Prof, I heard what you said. I was also at the same. I was also at the same retreat that you were. Though, to be fair, yesterday I left around 1 p.m., so I must have missed all the stuff that took place afterwards. But I want to refer to the NMA president, Dr. Jim. I don't think he forgot about the initial brain drain that started in the 70s. I think his speech was from the perspective of the topic of conversation, which is healthcare brain drain. So it's not as if we were forgetting about us. We were very, very well aware of that. Yeah. So anyway, let me just go on with the message. So I bring warm wishes from the Secretariat of the Presidential Health Reform Committee and the Office of the Vice President. Now I have to adjust the speech a bit. We're grateful for the engagement with the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, NIPSS, on issues which impact on our health workforce, universal health coverage, and the health of all Nigerians. Human resources for health is one of the widely accepted pillars of any health system, and there is little debate about the fact that there are both long-standing and urgent challenges to be addressed to advance Nigeria's journey to universal health coverage. The Presidential Health Reform Committee was established by His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari with the mandate to address health insurance for all, primary care and pandemic preparedness, as well as progress towards the achievement of universal health coverage. The health workforce pillar plays a critical role in Nigeria's journey to UHC, and for this reason, health workforce is a key thematic area of this health reform. An adequate, equitably distributed, motivated, and supported health workforce is essential for progress towards universal health coverage. While Nigeria is among countries with the most pressing UHC-related health workforce needs, it is also a major source country with respect to international health worker migration. We expect the Presidential Health Reform Committee will examine and recommend policy options to reduce international immigration of health workers, and such policy options should include innovative interventions such as redefined remuneration packages, better working conditions, and opportunities for career advancements. Other priority areas for the health reform in relation to the health workforce include improving the quality of education for health professionals and improving the interprofessional and multidisciplinary interactions in the sector. The Secretariat of the Presidential Health Reform Committee recognizes the importance of effective stakeholder engagement and will ensure that as the work of the HRC progresses, healthcare policymakers across the professions and disciplines continue to be fully engaged in the process to develop human resources for health policy, which will be inclusive, progressive, effective in advancing our journey to universal health coverage. Thank you. Just as an aside, I just wanted to just say a little bit about the Presidential Health Reform Committee. I don't know how much people know about it. As a quick update, I'm very happy to be here for us to listen to people's viewpoints and opinions, especially on the health workforce. I've always felt that at the time when deliberations began, considering the membership of the subcommittee, it may turn out to be one of the more contentious issues to be discussed in that committee. The deliberations are expected to start in November, and we have over 50 professionals within the health sector that are represented, both within the public and the private sector. Some of them are here today, and we hope that we'll be able to come up with innovative ideas, innovative outside the box thinking of some of the problems that we have in Nigeria, considering the fact that one of the major issues that we have is funding. I mean, we've had information or stories, figures get bandied around, but I mean, where one major figure that we've been hearing is that Nigeria needs approximately $4 billion a year to adequately fund health. And we all know that $4 billion a year is not easy money to look for, but that does not mean that we do not have to, that we will not have to sort out our problems sooner or later. So it's good to know that a lot of stakeholder engagements are going on regarding all the issues, the fact, kind of interactions I've had in the last 2 months on different sectors, different fields, shows that Nigerian healthcare professionals are really talking about what's going on here. To be able to be here and to hear what everyone is saying. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Areas around facility, funding, enabling environment, innovation, doing things different, coming up as we move on. And who best to speak to us after all the issues around immigration has been touched since we started this morning. We'll now move the microphone to the office of the Honorable Minister of Health, who is ably represented today by Professor Sidney Ibianusi. May I please invite the representative of the Honorable Minister.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I beg to stand on the existing protocol. Despite that, I must thank the DG, National Institute of Police and Civil Service, and the very distinguished guests who have gathered here today to address this very important issue. I again must also thank Professor Tomori, his usual frank and very done. And one thing that we must take from his speech is for us to patriotic. No matter what you do, no matter where you go, you must remember that Nigeria is your country. So we have the capacity, we have the responsibility to fix our country. We can't do it for any person. I think we have a country we call our own. That's very important. And some of us have capacity and we are all back because we realize that we have to come back to controls. I'm standing on behalf of the Honorable Minister of Health, who incidentally would have loved to be here, but for some conflicting official responsibilities, he's not able to make it, so they asked me to come. Yeah, those who have Takwa, those who come. So, as we gathered here to discuss this burning issue, particularly that affect our healthcare delivery, the issue of brain drain is here with us. We cannot push it away, and we cannot pretend that it's not happening. Incidentally, brain drain is a global issue. It is not just a Nigerian problem. Every country at various levels have their own problem. Unfortunately, countries like ours, who are the developing part of the world, are the worst hit. A recent Bloomberg report, a couple of months back, from South Africa actually says that 45% of persons with degrees, master's degree and above, are leaving the country. And the worrisome part is that those people leaving are the high earners, high income earners. So the question now is it because of the income, the level of income that people are leaving? It's a myriad of factors. And these factors have been summarized by previous speakers in the hybrid of push and pull factors. As you know, the healthcare workforce play a critical role in the quality of care that the citizens receive. When you have your highly trained and skilled workforce immigrating, it's of great concern. And that puts further strain on the already challenged health system. So, every effort to minimize it is a welcome endeavor. And I'm very glad and happy that the NIPSS is partnering with relevant stakeholders in the healthcare sector to provide solutions which will help formulate policies to address such pertinent problems. Particularly when most of the persons that are immigrating have been trained with the taxpayers' funds. We know what it costs to train either a nurse, a doctor, a lab scientist, a pharmacist in the public institution, health institution, and what it costs to train them in a private institution. The difference is quite huge. So, we do know that that will not be enough to provide us with what we think we should get. The government has actually invested a lot to ensure that this capacity of human resource is developed to be able to provide and bridge the gap that exists in the healthcare delivery in our country. Despite the government efforts, it is now realized that it has come to time when we also need to consider whether we should now increase the funding in terms of the education, the health workforce, or we just increase the fees that are paid by the students who are being trained, so that if that has to happen, they can now appreciate. I'm talking about related to the private institutions. Then people can now appreciate the actual investment government is doing to this process. As we look at the drawbacks of the brain drain, which we witness in this country, we should also not forget the benefits that may be derived from such migrations. That has also been mentioned. So part of what we should be discussing again is also to see how we can repatriate the acquired knowledge and skills by the migrated workforce. It is not easy to do that. We've had it even from the persons in the UK And a good number of Nigerians want to come back. Like I said, we are all there, but we also came back. So coming back means there has to be a conducive environment, there has to be a learning environment for people to practice what they have learned. If somebody has learned to do all sorts of procedures and have to come back to this country and he cannot even operate or practice any of those things, it's a wasted skill. In fact, what you have done here is just killed that talent. So, as we sit to discuss today, some of the issues we should be considering and we should discuss extensively is to look at how we can mitigate this problem, how we can reduce it, we might not be able to reverse it. Because the push and pull factors continue to persist. And as long as they exist, it might be difficult to do that. So I wish that we would also be considering the need or whether we should be funding persons who have been trained in public or taxpayers' funds, particularly in public health institutions. The other thing we should be considering or we should be discussing in this forum is again the increment on the tuition fees in the public health institution related to that of the private institutions. If you have to increase the fees, you may also consider if there's a need to provide grants for trainees. That's actually done in some other countries. Where the indigenous persons are giving grants, and these grants they can pay back on graduation. And then, if they have to do that, then we have to regulate with other sort of graduated immigration. There has to be time when they will be allowed to travel. And some of that talked about that is the immigration there. We must consider private sector engagement. To what extent have we engaged private sector? Particularly to ensure that to provide the enabling environment, incentive, the tools that persons need to work. Because that has been a factor that seems to have pushed people out of the country. The other factor we need to be considering is whether we need to increase the remunerations. A lot of people talk about remuneration. But like I did mention, in South Africa, the highest earners are the ones that are leaving the country. If you increase the remuneration, the issue with remuneration is a big problem itself. Because what you do is increase the remuneration in one sector, the other sectors will start agitating. So what you do is everybody is agitated. And then increase the remuneration for every person, the inflation rate goes up. So we have to look at that. And then in that purpose, we also have to consider whether we need to just increase incentives rather than remuneration. Incentives in terms of workplace incentives, in terms of the other things this healthcare workforce would be needing, not directly or maybe to the income they receive, but other things that they also need to live quality life and provide quality service. The other issue we might be considering is we might have to look at the diplomatic engagement of some of the countries that are receiving some of these immigrants and see if we may have to start charging them. Because it appears that we're training, Nigeria is now a training breeding ground for international workforce for the global markets. And we finish training them, and they just go. Cuba is doing that, and they're earning the part of their income from export of human capital. So why consider that? And engage those governments at the highest level of governance, discuss with them, and maybe if you're taking Nigerians to India, and then of course you pay us some people to train them, particularly the ones that have been trained for public funds. Now, if we are talking about bringing back the people who have retired, if we have to do that, we also create an enabling environment for them. We must provide an unhindered reintegration process for the people in diaspora to be able to come back, who wish it to be done, to be able to come back and fit into the system. If you make it difficult for them in terms of administration, in terms of practice, in terms of acceptance, then of course they will not come back. So we must have a way to be able to reintegrate them and in a very smooth fashion. A good number of them would wish to come back, particularly the older ones who have acquired skills, who have acquired knowledge and attitude, which they can now impact. But that way, we gain from the brain. So I wish us all well and for us to have a very successful symposium today and look forward to receiving the recommendations that will come out of this so that I can help us or help the government form policies to address some of the burning issues. So on this note, on behalf of the Honorable Minister of Health, I declare this session open. Thank you very much.
We want to thank you, able representative of the Honorable Minister of Health, Professor Sydney Ibianisi, who was very factual and who also spoke to all the things, all the concerns that we have. And I think our take home there is reintegration. And whilst we are talking about reintegration, there's a silent revolution that is coming up, particularly in the provision of specialized treatment in Nigeria. There are hospitals in this country that are emerging who are giving services that can be at the same level of global standards anywhere. And I think Nigerians are manning these hospitals. The viability, the sustainability of it depends on some of the outcomes that we'll get here today. At least Mr. Vice President's blessing has demonstrated that you can get some of those specialized care in Nigeria without having to go abroad. Again, I'd like to ask us to please put our hands together. The one-day symposium is formally opened, and we have all experts here. And one expert that I'd just like to introduce before we take our very short working tea break is Dr. Habib Sadoki, who is President of Society of Aesthetics and Gynecology of Nigeria, SOBA, PSA. Please, let's give them a round of applause. At some point, an expert had, from this field, had either, met with your wife, your daughter, or your friend. So let's thank them for the great job they're doing, at least making sure that we have sustainable child and family health in Nigeria. So, Honorable Minister, the Director General, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we'll have tea break now. Counting from now, we'll have 30 minutes. You can bring your tea to the table if you are not done. At the end of 30 minutes, counting from now, we'll continue with the final discussion. Thank you. Enjoy your tea.
This one I have to end the stream.
You want to? Can't you not pause it?
There is no space for pause.
Hey, there's no space for it to. Okay. Look at that.